let me say that these are the three major ways through which we carry out machine learning. Are we together? So how does this translate into artificial intelligence? Through supervised, unsupervised, or reinforcement learning, we can see these four things. I'm going to talk about them at a very surface level. We have what we call deep learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. Are we together? These are AI concepts, but they are at the same time machine learning concepts. What is deep learning? Deep learning is built on the architecture. It is an architecture that is very similar to the way the human brain works. Are we together? The human brain has millions and millions of cells known as neurons. Are we together? Now, a computer or a computing system can be designed to have neurons as well, but not physical neurons. No, they are not physical the way we have them in the head. They are simply algorithms that we call neural networks that are supposed to work in the same way the human brain does what the human brain works. And it is through deep learning and neural networks that we arrive at what we call natural language processing. Natural language processing. Have you ever wondered why on your devices you always get what we call suggestions? When I start typing something, even if it's on WhatsApp, it's a message. Are we together? As I am typing the message, I'm going to start getting recommendations. Recommendations like, oh, if I type how, which one do you think they are going to recommend to me? If I type how, they may recommend as the next word. Are we together? They may recommend much. They may recommend many. Are we together? So if I choose then I have how the next word they may recommend is most likely to be what? You. Are we together? That's what we call natural language process. Natural language processing. It's a form of machine learning that looks at natural language. Can we train machines that are able to see natural language and understand it in the same way we are able to also understand language? Are we together? And I think the biggest breakthrough in AI, this AI buzz that you're hearing about AI will replace jobs, the breakthrough was largely in natural language processing. Because previously, it was very hard for natural language processing algorithms. It was very hard for them to be able to process information that is a lot at once. Then Google, through some gentleman, was able to make a discovery in 2017. The discovery they made was published in a book that is titled as Attention is All You Need. Have you guys heard about that book? You've not. There's a book that was published by Google. It's a pamphlet. It's on the internet. You can look for it. It's called Attention is All You Need. Now, attention is all you need is simply explaining one small concept. What concept does it explain? It explains the concept that, I don't know if anyone has a book or something like that. You have any, I don't know, somewhere where there's a lot of text written. A lot of text can be a book. Yeah, it is okay. So, you see this information, the previous algorithms that were employed, most of those algorithms that were employed they were processing one word at a time. One word at a time. Then Google was able to discover an algorithm that can allow computers to read all this information at the same time. So when I feed this information in ChatGPT, It doesn't process word by word. It processes all information at the same time. At the same time, that's what we call attention. It gives attention to the whole information and then filters at once what is important and what is not important. That is why you're able to get rapid responses. Because all this modern AI that we are talking about, it leverages what we call the attention mechanism. Are we together? But that is all under natural language processing. Because natural language processing is not new. It has been around from the 70s and the 80s. Those white guys have already developed algorithms that will be able to do what? To process language. Where you can write a word and the computer is able to translate that word into a language that you understand. But it becomes now groundbreaking when you can type a lot of information and it is all processed at the same time. At the same time, that is all under what we call natural language processing. Are we together? Computer vision. Are we able to make a computer understand images? Have you ever wondered how a computer understands images? The same way I explained us taking in visual information. I gave you that example. I look at this ruler, I take a picture of this ruler into my brain, then the brain makes a conclusion that what you see is a ruler. I never ask yourself, how does a computer see an image? Let me use an example that is very common. We have people here who have phones that have Face ID. Mine is a Samsung, it doesn't have Face ID. But people with iPhones probably know Face ID more than anyone. Anyone with an iPhone? Yes? It is okay. It is okay. You don't have an iPhone. You have an iPhone, right? Anyone with an iPhone will have what call their iPhone will most likely have what they call Face ID. Are we together? So what does Face ID do? You simply touch your iPhone like this, it reads your face and it knows that, oh, this is blessing. Are we together? And it opens up. But someone else, however much they are related to you, whether they are your sister or what, if they hold the phone, it will not unlock. Unless they know the password or the PIN, they can enter the PIN. But in terms of the face, how do you think it is able to go and process that information and know that this is blessing? Yes? Futures, eh?
Even if your twins, there's that difference. You might have, let me say, John, S-card, even the iris. There must be a difference somewhere.
Yeah, of course there's a difference. Even when twins will not like it. But do you realize how small a difference can be? You see, it's not the difference is supposed to be there, even for twins. But in most cases, that difference is going to be very small. So, this algorithm should be so good that it can pick that small difference. Are we together?
Yes.
And then use that small difference. When you have a phone that doesn't have a very good camera or central processor, like it doesn't have a good processor, if you put there an app that does facial recognition, a stranger can come and pick your phone and it opens up. There are those apps, you go to the Play Store and download those apps for Face ID. You put your face there, tell it that this is me. Look for anyone else and you put in the power of an iPhone or what. But what I'm trying to show you here is that it takes a certain level of preciseness to build a system that is able to tell between two twins and say that this is not the owner of the phone and this is the owner of the phone. Now that is what we call computer vision. Are we together? Computer vision has made it possible that we can currently share an image with AI or with the chatbot, and the chatbot will tell you that from this image, I'm able to see 10 people. I'm able to see some monitors. I don't know. I see some windows. Because it is able to process information, visual information. Are we together? That's what we call natural language, computer vision. So those are some of the commonest ways that we always interact with AI. Besides the chatbot that we guys know, asking it coursework questions and it gives you responses. Computer vision, natural language processing, deep learning networks, the neural networks, and reinforcement learning again, where we make decisions in complex environments, is another way that we can think about. AI. Let me go through this very fast. Data science toolkit, some of the common tools we use in data science. Anyone has ever done data analysis here? I think it's common these days at your university. Data analysis? Data analysis. With what? With Python, with Python. So Python is, I know you guys, what is your favorite language? What's your favorite language from the languages that you use in those different courses? Okay, you may not have a favorite, but which one would you want to be your best language? React that uses leverages Java. Which other? Java. Python, C++, C#, all those languages. Now let me tell you one thing that is obvious. Python is relatively younger than all those languages. C++, they are basically older than Python, and they are so common. Most people use Java, C++, and their frameworks like Node.js, React. But Python is relatively newer. But somehow, because of the other point where I started, when I told you that data science, machine learning, and AI, they all rely on data, and Python was primarily developed as a scientific language, a language that is used by researchers. That is why Python has taken precedence in the line of AI. Because AI is a product of, it's not a product of web developers. Are we together? It's a product of people that work with data that then ask themselves, how can we use this data that we've gotten or obtained to get meaningful information out of it? Then they introduce concepts like machine learning. Are we together? Concepts like artificial intelligence, they are all built upon the foundation of data. And therefore, Python is going to become one of the most important languages. I don't know to which magnitude, but I can tell you, if AI is going to take over the way they say, then every one of you needs to learn Python. Are we together? Because it's the language that you primarily find all important libraries of AI and libraries of machine learning built upon. Are we together? So Python is a language, but there are other alternatives. There is Julia. There's a language called Julia. Are we together? And there is also R. Anyone who knows R? A language called R. Yeah, R is for statisticians. But those are the languages. There are some environments that we commonly use. There is Google Colab. These are languages. So if you want to do any work in data science, you will most likely come across Python, and you use Python in an environment locally known as Jupyter Notebooks. Jupyter Notebooks is quite specialized for Python. They give you cells where you can write a line of code and then run it and get a result. And then another cell, you write another line of code and get a result. I wanted to open one here, but allow me first to go through this, then I'll show you some of these things later on. We have Pandas. Pandas is a library in Python. Matplotlib, those are both libraries. Pandas is for data manipulation, and then Matplotlib is used in data visualization. But there are very many other libraries. There is NumPy, Numerical Python, there is Seaborn, there is Plot9, there is Plotly. Those are all visualization libraries where you can use Python and visualize some of the things you observe in your data. Machine learning toolkit, if you are ever interested in machine learning, these are the things you work with on a daily basis when you're doing machine learning. There's a library